morning, good 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 morning. Good, thankful Thursday morning to each and every one of you tuned into Good Morning Grenada right now. Thank you so very much for starting your Thursday off with us here at the GBN. Appreciate it to the fullest. Good morning, bless up your whole selves. It is the 10th day of the 6th month of 2021. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11, and 20. Good morning to all the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, and all the folks joining us on Party Grenada and Go to Fet Facebook pages. It is an absolute pleasure being with you here this morning. Thank you very much. Those of you tuned in from across the region, whichever part of the Caribbean you are, a spicy 473 Grenadian morning to each and every one of you. And those of you tuned in internationally, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. How was your Wednesday night? I trust it was a restful, peaceful, wonderful Wednesday, and you're ready to get Thursday up and running. Let's start, of course, with the word of the day. This morning's word of the day is ravelment. Ravelment. It's spelled R-A-V-E-L-M-E-N-T. Ravelment. It's a noun which means entanglement or confusion. Ravelment is a compound of the verb ravel, which means to tangle or entangle, and the noun suffix ment, here denoting a resulting state. Ravel most likely comes from the Dutch word which means to become entangled or confused or to fray. Ravelment entered English in the first half of the 19th century. The word of the day this morning is ravelment, R-A-V-E-L-M-E-N-T. It is a noun which means entanglement or confusion. An example of the use of the word, but historical causes are a ravelment, and there can be no single turning point from which all events flow. Another example of the use of the word, this jagged shard of American history has become a ravelment of an election, a tangle of confusion and complexity. Word of the day this morning, R-A-V-E-L-M-E-N-T, ravelment, a noun which means entanglement or confusion. When you're in a state of disarray, when you're confused, when you're not sure about what's happening, you're in a state of enravelment. Not enravelment, a state of ravelment. That's what it means, being confused, entanglement. Entanglement, Jada. All right, and as you go about your thankful Thursday, the thought of the day that I want to carry you through the next 24 hours at least. It's a funny thing about life. Once you begin to take note of the things you are grateful for, you begin to lose sight of the things that you lack. Once you begin to take note of the things you are grateful for, you begin to lose sight of the things that you lack. It is Thankful Thursday. It is a great opportunity to give thanks for what you have, be grateful for what you have, and continue to live in the moment. Live for what you have. Stop thinking about the things that you think you're missing, the thing that you need, the things that you think you're lacking. Give praises and give thanks for what you have, even if it's less than what you were hoping for. A little is a feast. There's a saying, a little is a feast. Be grateful for what you have, and sooner or later you'll forget that you're missing something, or you think you're missing something in your life. So the thought of today, once you begin to take note of the things you are grateful for, you begin to lose sight of the things that you lack. This morning, as you sit, you stand, or lay down, whatever you're doing, just think of 5 things that you are grateful for. Just 5. 5 things that you are grateful for, and give thanks for it/them. Just 5 that you are grateful for. More than 5 comes to mind immediately for me, but think of 5 and give thanks for it, be grateful for it, and just send up a word of gratitude for it. Some people maybe don't even have the 5 that you have, so give thanks. It is Thankful Thursday, a great opportunity to be thankful and grateful. All right, let's see what is celebrated today, June 10th, 2021. Today, it's very fitting for the Isle of Spice. Today it is Herbs and Spices Day. Herbs and Spices Day. Celebrating flavor each year on June 10th, Herbs and Spices Day recognizes the diversity and quality offered by using both fresh and dried herbs and spices in your cooking. All year long, herbs and spices are essential to cooking, but as the summer heats up, developing a knack for cooking with fresh herbs will bring brightness and flavor to your grilling and your kitchen. They not only add flavor to your meals, but herbs and spices also add color, bringing a vibrancy that might otherwise be missed. It's Herbs and Spices Day. I think in Grenada, in the Caribbean, we celebrate herbs and spices on a daily basis. You can't cook a pot without throwing in something green, throwing in some seasoning, save, thyme, rosemary, whatever you have. We even take bush that we make tea with and put in the meat. Yeah, man, we celebrating Herbs and Spices Day every day. So I don't know how to tell us to celebrate a little extra special today. And drink some spice tea. Yeah, forget the milk today. Forget the cocoa, not the cocoa. Forget the cocoa, forget the coffee. Drink some spice tea today. Whatever spice or herb you have a cup this morning or tonight when you get home. Herbs and Spices Day. That's how we're going to celebrate Herbs and Spices Day. A cup of hot spice or herb tea. That's what it's. Coming through in the dance. I kind of ashamed because it's been a while since I've had a cup of spice tea. Maybe that's why that's the thought that comes to mind to celebrate Herbs and Spices Day. It's been a while. I'm a coffee drinker, so it's been a while. So tonight when I get home, I'm going to have a cup of spice tea. I have some cinnamon sticks. So that's how we're going to celebrate Herbs and Spices Day today, June 10th, 2021. All right, and just before we go to the news, a reminder of the vaccination spots for the rest of the week. Today it is Thankful Thursday, so the vaccination crews will be at all health centers as well as the St. Augustine Medical Station. They'll be at Sam's from 12 noon to 3 p.m. And it is free to get your jab. So those of you who are still thinking about getting your AstraZeneca jab or your COVID-19 vaccine jabs, the vaccination team will be at Sam's 12 noon to 3 p.m. as well as all health centers. Remember, you need to make an appointment for the health center, and Sam's I believe you can just walk in and get your vaccine shots between the hours of 12 noon and 3 p.m. Tomorrow, Friday, they'll be back at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, Gate B, as well as all health centers. So that's for the rest of the week. Sam's today, Kirani James Stadium tomorrow, health centers on both days. All right, now let's get ready for the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you on our visual platforms, it's time for highlights of last evening's newscast. It's a Thankful Thursday, a rainy Thursday morning. Stick and stay. We'll be right back.
Police were forced to spring into action as one man was discovered hanging in his cell at the Central Police Station on Wednesday evening. Superintendent Vanny Kerwin, head of the Community Relations Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force, spoke about the discovery.
At about 1:15 this afternoon, a gentleman was detained and brought into the Central Police Station for the offenses of damage to property and stealing. Because of his behavior, which was kind of disorderly, a decision was taken to strip him of his clothes for his own safety. And so he was stripped down to his clothes, to his boxers, and he was placed in the cell with his boxers. At about 4:30, while the shift was being changed and a check of the cell was made, it was discovered that he has used the waist of his boxers to hang himself on the gate of the cell. Unfortunately, the medical team is here, senior officers from the criminal investigation are here, crime scene experts are here, and we are just processing the scene. This gentleman would have been charged overnight and processed and be brought to court tomorrow. It's unfortunate that this incident has happened, and as all other incidents, a thorough investigation will be done, and at some point we'll be able to report to the public what has happened, how it has happened, and perhaps why it has happened if we can make that determination. So that is what we have for now. It's an unfolding situation. The scene is still being processed. The investigation has started, and our work to determine what has happened is underway. No, I do not have the details of where he's from as yet, but I'm sure as the evening unfolds, that information will become available.
The name of the victim was not disclosed to allow the family to be informed. Police say the male individual was picked up by police after they received a call that expressed concern about his well-being. Police say before being put into the holding cell, the individual was stripped of his clothes as a means of avoiding such incident. However, reports are that the man used the lone piece of clothes on his body, which was his boxers, to allegedly hang himself. GBN will continue to follow this developing story. Calvin Frank, a 33-year-old driver of Spring St. George, was arrested and charged by officers attached to the Criminal Investigation Department on Wednesday, 9th June 2021, in relation to Grenada's first homicide for 2021. This was officially confirmed by the head of the Community Relations Department, Superintendent Vanny Kerwin.
Earlier on today, we have charged Mr. Calvin Frank, 33 years of Spring St. George's for the untimely death or non-capital murder of Mrs. Skinner Moraine. He was also charged for housebreaking, and he was also charged for attempted non-capital murder for the very violent attack on Mrs. Skinner's daughter. He will be appearing in court tomorrow, June the 10th. This is his first court hearing to answer those 3 charges as a result of Monday incident.
Lindy Skinner Moraine lost her life during a stabbing altercation that occurred on Monday morning at Jean Anglais, St. George. Frank was charged for non-capital murder and housebreaking after he unlawfully broke into the dwelling house of Mrs. Skinner Moraine to commit a felony therein, to wit, non-capital murder. He was also charged for attempted non-capital murder by attempting to cause the death of a 16-year-old person. The murder followed a report made by Frank to the police that Skinner Moraine owed him $150, which was due to be paid the same day. One woman claims police brutality. The RGPF says it isn't so. The police have responded to accusations made by Candy Joseph after she was allegedly assaulted by 3 male police officers on Friday night. We get more in this report.
I just want to go on record as saying that what we have heard in the news last night is very far from what has happened, and in due course and in due time, the truth of this incident will be made known.
Superintendent Vanny Kerwin, head of the Community Relations Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force, as he debunked claims of police brutality reported by Candy Roberts of Lazarus and David against members of the RGPF. In last evening's newscast, Joseph told GBN she had been assaulted by 3 male officers attached to the St. David Police Station. Superintendent Kerwin said upon responding to a call, the 3 officers were met with aggression. This is based on accounts by eyewitnesses.
We have had 4 eyewitnesses account of the incident outside that of the police officers, and all 4 of the eyewitnesses are very consistent in terms of what has happened. And what has happened is not police brutality as was told. The lady was arrested and refused to go to the police transport, and in fact she attacked the police. There were comments that were made about if she had a knife, what and what she would not have done. Those comments were alarming and very perplexing by those who witnessed the incident. We did not have to go out to search for information. It was so disgusting that many of the civilians who were present came into the police station and voluntarily provided information to the police.
Tolerance, patience, tact. The superintendent's response when questioned about why Candy Joseph was not arrested as the officers had attempted to do.
Sometimes, tolerance, patience, tact needs to be stepped into a situation. There were 3 police officers, and it was very easy for 3 police officers to arrest her physically and take her away. But the confrontation that would have caused, it was better not to continue the confrontation further. She's somebody who is known and can be taken to court by other means, and so a decision was made there and then to leave her, and she will be taken to court by other means. But I am sure that the force that was on the ground was enough to carry her away. But the fight that ensued and would have continued if they had done that, perhaps more people would have gotten hurt. So it was thought, that let good sense and good judgment prevail and abort the arrest, but she will be taken to court and she too will have her day in court.
Superintendent Kerwin says investigations will prove the truth of the incident, and with the directive from the Department of Public Prosecution, a suitable response to the matter will be provided.
It is incumbent on us to continue to do a full and complete investigation, gathering all the facts and circumstances in this matter, and have the advice of the Director of Public Prosecution at the appropriate time to determine if or who will be charged or disciplined for this encounter. So I just want to go on record as saying that what we have heard in the news last night is very far from what has happened, and in due course and in due time, the truth of this incident will be made known.
Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Tellisford.
In an unprecedented and historic lawsuit that was initiated in 2019 by the Grenada Bar Association against government, the High Court now has cleared the way for the matter to proceed. The government is being challenged for its continued neglect of the judicial system and supporting services, which the association contends is in breach of the Constitution. Gerard Joseph has been speaking with a Grenada Bar Association official.
The suit, which was first filed in July 2019 by the Grenada Bar Association, then led by Attorney-at-Law Lisa Taylor, is contending that government is in breach of the Constitution for its continued failure to provide the necessary apparatus for the efficient and timely administration of justice. Counsel on the matter and now current president of the Grenada Bar Association, James Bristol, says the association is tasked under the Legal Profession Act to ensure the due administration of justice. The suit seeks to get the association to represent the interests of all the people who may come before the court, whether in a civil or criminal matter.
It's what you call a representative proceeding. It's like almost like what they call a class action suit in America. So one person represents the interests of everyone. So if those interests are the same or similar, so you don't have everybody having to go to court and arguing the same point again and again, which wastes time and money and resources.
Bristol says the court granted the application last week, whereby the Bar Association can now formally represent all litigants. No proper court facilities, inadequate buildings, staff, and insufficient judges, which have resulted in a backlog of criminal and civil cases, as well as the untimely administration of justice, are the rationale for the suit.
And what's really serious is in the criminal cases, you know, people are innocent until proven guilty. If someone is locked up and not on bail or is on remand awaiting trial for an excessive period, this could be tantamount to an infringement of their human rights. So it's very important to bring these matters, you know, before the court for determination whether the government is failing in its duty to ensure under the Constitution fair trial. The fair trial rights are embodied in Section 8 of the Constitution.
The GBA president, who has served in the past as Attorney General, highlights the importance of such a suit.
I think it does put a little extra pressure. I mean, it's subject to appeal, of course, but it does put pressure because it means that everybody in Grenada is on board with us. And everybody in Grenada is comforted that they can exert together with us the pressure that is required to cause change, because the more the merrier. And I think it's a major step. It's the first decision of its kind that I'm aware of, certainly in Grenada, but I think in the OECS for sure, the Bar Association being appointed in a representative capacity.
He says the association, which has been having discussions with Attorney General Dia Forrester, is however hoping that the issues can be resolved before they go to court. The Attorney-at-Law says the background to the suit dates back to the last 30 years, despite the change of political parties, as government has remained the same. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
He said what he said and has no feelings of remorse for words used in the House of Representatives in response to the resignation of former Ambassador at Large and Consul General to Florida, Warren Newfield.
Imagine a white man coming and tell we must change the government of Grenada. Could you believe this character? For was in the street and say another word.
With racism being an issue in the spotlight internationally, the words used by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell to respond to former Ambassador at Large and Consul General to Florida, Warren Newfield, took many criticism. But when asked on Wednesday if he regrets any part of it, he did not. The Prime Minister says his expression was appropriate at the time.
I said I made a statement and I'm comfortable with it and I have moved on. If other people move on, that's for them, but I have moved on. And I have nothing to apologize for and I have nothing to regret. Very appropriate statement.
The Prime Minister sought to clarify some of the issues that led to the dispute between Newfield, who is also the developer behind the Kimpton Kawana Bay Resort, and the government.
What has happened is that the individual felt that although he invested 20%, he has to recoup that money, which goes completely against the policy of the law of the country. So there's no way we would agree to break that condition. So he's now asking for $99 million for the construction. And of course, we said no, we can't agree to this. And I think that could have been triggered the problem as what happened.
Warren Newfield resigned as an ambassador to Grenada on May 20th, 2021, citing government's anti-business policies as a reason for his resignation. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear-Thomas reporting.
Individuals and businesses affected by the COVID-19 pandemic may receive another round of financial support from government through a second stimulus package. This was announced by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell on Wednesday. Rena Pear-Thomas tells us more.
In an attempt to provide support to people and businesses whose livelihood was affected by COVID-19, the government of Grenada has secured a soft loan of $8.95 million from the Caribbean Development Bank and the International Development Bank to help cushion the impact. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell made this announcement on Wednesday in a special press conference.
Very soft loan of $8.95 million, which works out approximately to about $24 million. That initiative to help the marginalized persons and persons who have affected the most. And therefore the Ministry of Finance has been working with the Ministry of Social Development and also engaging some of our social partners in the whole question of the areas and the persons that could be supported with that initiative that we are embarking on.
Prime Minister Mitchell says that at present, the Ministry of Finance is working very closely with CDB to develop the policy, format and proposal that will be used as the procedures of payment for the fund.
From indication, it looks like the resources, the actual monies would be available sometime early August, September for the latest. So in other words, we'd expect to start disbursement around that particular time. So what is being done now is a lot of the hard work, the detailed work in the proposals and working out the format.
He said the interest rate in paying back the loan is expected to be very low, with ample time to pay back.
In terms of almost similar to IDA, and IDA is 0.75%. I haven't seen the exact document, but I know it's going to be very low. And you have a 10-year grace and 40 years to repay. That is the IDA component of the World Bank. Assuming it's close to that indications, then it would be very small in terms of the loan payment. But the question of whether, in fact, in the stimulus, we're making some of that available for businesses and requiring them to repay, will make the conditions very soft in going forward, but most of it will be grant support.
The government of Grenada has already distributed over 17 million AC dollars to various sectors in April of 2020 under its COVID-19 economic stimulus package. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear-Thomas reporting.
Our guest this evening to probe statements made during the Prime Minister's press conference is Mr. Terence Forrester, representing the National Democratic Congress. Good evening and welcome to GBN News.
Good evening, and to all your viewers and listeners.
Mr. Forrester, what's your take from what was disclosed by the Prime Minister earlier today? What's your takeaway from it?
Well, actually, there are a few takeaways, and the first being the long overdue stimulus package. To be quite honest, the National Democratic Congress would like to see a full disclosure of the social partners which the Prime Minister spoke about, simply because we are interested in having transparency with this approximately $25 million and how it's going to be used, because we fear that there may be political agendas afoot with respect to it. So in other words, we'd like to see a full oversight committee, and that committee be named publicly so that it can be probed, and in the best interest of ensuring that those who are in need actually receive the assistance. But long overdue stimulus package, we welcome it, but we want to see transparency associated with its use and a mentioning of the committee.
Is there anything you wished was addressed by the Prime Minister?
Well, actually, he spoke about the 4%. And in fact, the party would have really liked him at this point in time to announce how he plans to lay it out. I myself made recommendations, and the party supported those recommendations. And we would like to see an end to the issue. But more importantly, it was most unfortunate how the Prime Minister chose to cast aspersion with respect to public workers. In other words, no care for public workers. And he wasn't concerned about the demonstrations, etc., and was just about the children. The fact is, if he was that concerned about the children, this matter would have been resolved a long time ago. This issue has been going on for a very long time. And it's unfortunate that it has dragged on so long, but we would like to see an end to it finally.
What do you think of his reasoning to remain at the helm to contest the next general election?
Well, it is very obvious that Prime Minister will remain there, and he will give another excuse in the next 5 years as to why he should remain again. He has been doing this for the last 20, 25 years, so I'm not surprised, and no one else should be surprised.
Okay. Mr. Terence Forrester, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed.
Now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Trolana Charles has been looking around the platforms.
This is Social Buzz, where we shine a light on the thoughts and concerns of our online audience. Allegations of police brutality were made by Candy Joseph, who is demanding justice following what she calls total abuse of power, allegedly by 3 male law enforcement officers.
After the police left, I came down here. Them girls, them were sitting, the neighbor and the others, they were sitting right there. So we was more like this way. Me and the young lady that got in the argument, we was like this way. So the police will probably come back up. I probably see them, but show my back turn and already paying attention to where most of the fight broke out. So I bowed to my back now, and the officer had me in my neck. One of the officers grabbed me from behind and grabbed me from my neck and squeezed, was holding me so tight, took me. So I ain't know anything, and I just go over. Just throw me over there on the ground.
Our online audience gave their opinions. Jalissa commented, "It doesn't matter if her story is missing parts. The facts still remain it's a woman to male police officers. They should know better. Where are the female officers to carry out matters like this?" Catherine added, them police officers are overdoing it now. My girlfriend is a victim of police brutality from a male police officer attached to the St. Paul's police station. And when told to go to the relevant station at the fort, it was clear to see that police is for police. Mr. Commissioner needs to pull up his troops. They are putting the public in fear of reporting a case and seeking help. Latoya wrote, there's a very thin line between disciplining a kid and abusing a kid. The cops probably reacted thinking they were protecting the kids. But how are you going to correct a violation with another violation in itself? Not making any excuses for either parties involved. Bottom line is, did the kids receive whatever help they needed? Are they safe now? Diane commented, how can 3 male officers brutalize a single woman? Regardless to what she was doing, fighting or behaving unruly, they have a duty to de-escalate the situation, bringing peace, not adding to the melee. Speaks to their training and mindset. There seems to be an issue with St. David's police station. An independent investigation needs to be done to find out what's going on there. And this individual commented, let this go viral. Police brutality must be stamped out once and for all. The only way we can get this issue solved is to cause a level of awareness. It's a shame. The police station must have someone in charge and they must have reported the incident. Whenever a vehicle leaves the station to attend to an issue, it must be documented. Get their names and let the whole world know what happened. That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. If you would like to have your thoughts and concerns shared, be sure to comment on GBN's Facebook page.
From the thought process to the visual impact, it's time to take a peek through the GBN I Saw lens.
We have a 5-pounder in tonight's ISA. This 5-pound potato was uprooted by our ISA reporter Karen Paul of Conference St. Andrew. Karen said she was shocked at this discovery. She said though she's planted potatoes before, this one is by far the largest she has ever uprooted. Send us your photos and videos via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Trends come and go, but jewelry is forever in style. Give a gift that lasts a lifetime. Diamond Intercontinental have diamond jewelry, gold and silver jewelries, engagement rings, wedding bands, chains, bracelets, and so much more. They also carry brands such as Anne Klein and Guess. Why wait? Visit Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store at the Esplanade Mall. Call 440-231234. The number again, 232-1234.
Get Ruby Gas. Get cooking. Ruby Gas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Ruby Gas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Ruby Gas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Ruby Gas?
Get Ruby's, get going.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, Daisy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Montreal, it's time to line virtually one more time. Gemma Rayburn Baines here for Spice Island Cultural Festival, a celebration of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. This summer's festival is a celebration of life with food, fashion, music, and culture. Join us online Saturday, July 10th, 3 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube at Spice Island Cultural Festival. Info, spiceislandculturalday.com.
A whole new level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. Plumbing fixtures, cutting and grinding discs, PVC glue, drywall screws, and power saw blades. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our two convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
Blessed morning. It's a beautiful day in your kingdom. Ha. Look at the stars, the birds, hear them sing. Such a beautiful day. Ha.
Morning star begins to rise just before the break of day. Morning star begins to rise and the darkness just fades away. Yeah. The morning star begins to shine, so it's a brand new day. Stand up and be counted, let just shine thy way. When I put my head from my pillow and I rise from a slumber, the Almighty a guide I and I, cause I am counted in a them. Morning star begins to rise just before the break of day. Morning star begins to rise and the darkness just fades away. Yeah. The morning star it shines my feet, even the blind can see it. The energy me get from the morning star, nothing else can compete. And when the star it shines it rays, all of the hair on my skin them rays. And when me look at creation, the morning star has me so a morning star. begins to rise. Just before the break of day, morning star begins to rise, and the darkness just fades away. Yeah, the morning star begins to shine, so it's a brand new day. Stand up and be counted, let just shine thy way. When I put my head from my pillow and I rise from a slumber, the Almighty a guide I and I, cause I am counted in a them. Morning star begins to rise, just before the break of day. Morning star begins to rise, and the darkness just fades away. Yeah, morning star begins to rise, just before the break of day. Morning star begins to rise, and the darkness just fades away.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. It is now 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. Those of you who are just joining us, happy to have you. Those of you who stuck with us, thank you for your patience. This morning it's Talk the Things Thursday, but Talk the Things Thursday with a guest. This morning I have joining me virtually for the first time on the program since his election, actually, President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Mr. Jude Bartholomew, is our guest this morning, and he's here to talk to us, give us some information. Some things are happening. Good morning, Mr. Bartholomew. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm fine. Thank you so very much for being on this program. That's the first for me.
Yes, it is.
I do appreciate that. And I would like to say good morning to all our listeners, to the Grenada Union of Teachers National Executive, to all our hardworking and dedicated teachers, wherever you are, throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Pity Matnik. As we say, we greet you and we tell you that the struggle continues. And blessings to all the listening public, or via the various mediums and through GBN. Thank you so very much for being here this morning.
Appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to start actually with, we're going to get into some information, but first I want to ask, I'm seeing the weather outside and I saw a poster. It was not yesterday, day before. I saw a poster on Tuesday speaking of a march that the GUT is planning today, getting out of bondage, freeing ourselves from bondage. First of all, is that march still taking place, considering the weather?
Yes, most definitely that march will be taking place. As you say, rain can't stop the reggae jam. So, whatever the struggles we are, rain or sun, we'll have our march or protest action.
So tell me about that march. It's one of, I would assume, one of the continued protest action the GUT has been undertaking calling on government to pay the 4% salary increase to teachers and public officers. And this is another one of the activities that you've planned. Tell us about the march, the route, and it's been a while, actually, maybe some weeks since we've had the last action by the GUT. Why you're coming back today?
Right, so we're having the protest action this morning, and as probably with the press conference yesterday, the PM did come out and say he doesn't probably see the reason why we're having, our protest action and such. But as you would have noticed and observed, basically we are fair-minded. And we give the government an opportunity in terms of to come straight and to come strong with us and to settle this matter. So we had some actions. Probably there are some times where we probably go down on a low a little bit. Our intention is to keep the pressure right there, because it seems what the government understand is when the language of probably marching, protesting, and all those things that we have to do as a union and all the different unions to settle a matter. So it doesn't seem that the government wants to settle a matter, peacefully. We would have given them all the opportunities to do so. And probably the language that they like to hear, all right, is us going out on the street and to protest so that we could bring closure to this. So this morning, we are not only marching for the Grenada Union of Teachers, but we are marching even for the police officers, even the very said police officers who are on the street, who are at the gates of the ministerial complex, sometimes that even in our employments, employer, we cannot even go there because of protest action. When we have to go there at other times to bring in exams, to deal with other matters, dealing with education, and we have our protest actions, and many times if the nations observe that the security at the gate and such, and you see with armor strong, with guns, with everything like that. And we observe that we are marching also for the police officers and to get them monies too, because they will be getting their 4% too, and duty leading the way. So we'll continue to do what we have to do. And what we have to do, we're doing it peacefully. We're not threatening government in such. We are not doing that. We are not speaking overthrowing government. What we are doing is so sad that, even in Grenada at this time, in the 21st century, that we have to be marching up and down. The same government that says that they love the children so much and for such a long time, that we have to be struggling, not only teachers, but public officers, nurses, doctors, and even the police officers who would have worked so hard, diligently, courageously during COVID-19 pandemic, making all the sacrifices through the length and breadth of Grenada, Carriacou, and the Pitimatic, that at this time we have to march on the street for 4%. And the 4% basically is just a pocket change, just sometimes $40, $60, and that's what the public needs to understand. That is how far we have to go. So even in the rain, the shine, whatever it takes, we will be there.
You were recently elected the president of the GUT, and you jumped straight into the fire in the midst of this 4% battle. And one of the first things that has happened to you was your recent detention by the RGPF. And over the past few weeks, a lot of public officers, including teachers, have spoken out about what they believe to be efforts of intimidation, including your detention. So as you continue to battle and fight and call for the 4% salary increase, what's your take on what people are calling intimidation? Do you see it as that? Do you think that's what is being done? And what sort of intimidation, if any, that you've seen happening not just to yourself, but other public officers, other teachers?
Well, I will start by saying Mr. Jude Bartholomew, the new president of the Grenada Union of Teachers, right in the very core of my DNA is for equality, justice for all, whether socially, economically, for all peoples, wherever they are, throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Pitimatic. Not only for teachers, but I said for all workers, for all peoples. So that is in my DNA, not just as the President General of Grenada now, but I've been in trade union organizations, I've been in the GUT, even before that with various positions, and I'm very sincere and honest in what I do for the nations, for the children, even for the children, because our march and protest action is not only for the teachers and workers, but for the children. But to go back now in terms of that, Grenada Union of Teachers is a very strong union. And what we notice probably, that's the real probably voice in Grenada, the strong voice or the strongest voice. All the other unions, yes, they take part in actions and such and everybody. But it seems that there is a deafening silence, not only, you don't say by unions, but all peoples, probably persons are afraid to talk, are afraid to come out, they are frightened to express themselves for social and economic justice. And the Grenada Union of Teachers would not give in to that. And that is our history as 108 years in the month of June and the 20th of June, all right, over 100 years at the Grenada Union of Teachers, written in the Grenada Constitution, the Constitution of Grenada. So we have the right and we will express ourselves and we will march, we will do what it takes. But what we notice, as you said, in terms of intimidation and harassment, that's the first time you have really seen that, all right, a leader, and probably they thought that I'm a young person, just came in as the President General, and probably they thought by doing that will cause me to back down. But and to us as teachers is a form, and that's why we said basically we are in bondage. All right, not only bonds in terms of bonds, but bondage, because one can see what is happening through the length and breadth of Grenada, as if we are in a democratic country, a democratic society, and we cannot express ourselves as we want freely, and is indeed a source of concern, and you call intimidation and harassment. And the teachers did not take it lightly, not only teachers, but other workers, and even persons who support the government, the NNP government or whatever. Some of them did not take it lightly because it's freedom, people look for their freedom and such. And we have a right as a collective bargaining agent to express ourselves and to take part in terms of industrial actions. And coming in when the police did and coming to
to my home to detain me and such, because we are pressing government for what is just and what is right. Is not right at all. But what they fail to realize, what they have done is basically to light a fire and to stop more passion. That's what they did there, you know. The police, and I will not lay blame at them. I don't know if they did it by themselves or what would have happened. But what we want them to know, that would have stopped more passion. That would have, make the thing light up a fire in the sense, and teachers would not back down, and we calling on other workers not to be in terms of intimidated by I being detained or other persons, other unions being detained. What they have done is to motivate me, to inspire me, and to inspire us so that we can take this struggle on and we can move on. And to just say that we are fighting also for the police officers, because what is it's fair to say, not all of them, they are doing their duties and such, but the police officers want their monies too. And probably because they cannot really take part in the industrial action, they cannot march on the street. But basically in spirit, a lot of them will support the action because they are ordinary poor people children too, just as the teachers and other workers, and it's a just cause. So a lot of them may not be able to come out and say, well, what the authorities do or what they have done is wrong. But silently and such, they know and they are hurting too. All right, and that is the cause. So we support them, and we want to make sure that when we know that victory will come and we're going to get our monies, and we're calling on the authority in terms as a token of love, even if they would have detained the duty president, but the police officers should get their monies quickly also.
What's the latest development in the fight for the 4%? The last I heard, the Prime Minister acknowledged that the payment could happen before December 2021, but he still made some statements yesterday during his media engagement. What's the last conversation that you've had, whether it's with the negotiating team? I know you recently met with the Labour Commissioner. What's the latest?
Well, basically, we move from conciliation, as we said, is a long struggle with the Labour Commissioner, and then we're in the process of mediation with the Honourable Peter David, who one can say is trying to do a wonderful job. Is reasonable and trying to resolve the matter, and we are trying to resolve the matter too. But we want the government to become straight and be honest with us. And basically the history and such is what is happening is that we cannot trust in sometimes the mistrust and the misunderstanding. And we cannot trust government all the times with the word. It doesn't matter what they come out and say. The Prime Minister may come out and say we want this matter to be settled by September or before September. And we heard that the Prime Minister did say that he loved the children so much. Teachers love the children too. If you want to talk about people who love the children, and we're going to get back to that. We're in a stage where the government, they did show some movement in terms of from December, and we closer. So hopefully we'll resolve in terms of the monthly payments before September, the monthly payment in terms of what will be going into your salary before September. But where the problem is that now we did not reach any conclusion, and government have not reached any conclusion in terms of the retroactive parts. And what they basically put before the table, which we did not accept, and our responsibility as a union who is responsible, anything government puts before us at the negotiating table, that we will go back to our teachers, we will go back to our members, and that is the customary of the national executive, the GOT negotiating team. And it's the teachers who call the shots. So the teachers will say whether they accept that or whether they reject that. But the retroactive payments, basically one will say is the problem there, and government must be responsible and they must be fair. All right, teachers will say that they want the monies and such. And there must be a statement. If you read in the line, that's why we said we are under bondage. All right, so come straight, come strong with us, be honest and be sincere with us. And if you want to resolve this matter before September, come straight with us and come strong with us. So let's see, because we have negotiations also probably sometime this afternoon. We have negotiations later, and let's see what they will come with. But we had a meeting with our teachers, and basically what they would have put on the table with the retroactive payment, that teachers would have said no to it. So we must go back.
So you have negotiations this afternoon with whom? The negotiating team or the Labour Commissioner?
With the mediator, Honourable Peter David, and also the government negotiating team, the head person, Brother Oliver Joseph.
What are your expectations from that? What time is that meeting?
That meeting should be about 2 o'clock, 1 or 2 o'clock this afternoon.
How optimistic are you that at least some agreement can be reached during that meeting?
Well, we thought that in good faith, and the government did say and boast that they wanted to be settled. We were sort of shocked and surprised because we were hoping, we want the matter to be settled too. So we were hoping that last Friday that the matter would have been settled. So one can say that they can go in the meeting this afternoon with some optimism, but we are not certain. We are not certain. It depends on what they say in the meeting.
And in addition to this 4% battle, I know the GUT also has a pending case in the court in relation to pension payment. Can you give us any update on that as well?
So this is another matter that will say that this team that we have chosen for our match this morning, bondage. And we are in bondage, workers are in bondage, and probably the whole nation are in bondage in the sense. And especially workers, because we are seeing and we are watching, especially under this administration, in terms of workers' rights. Treading and trampling of workers' rights and what workers' benefits. For example, pension. It is painful and hurting. You hear the cry of all those who are retiring and retirees and people who are about to retire. And it is not fair. When you go back in terms of the pension matter, look at the politicians. Some of the politicians in Grenada were teachers. And they are now, some of them are ministers. And even while they are teachers, they could not have gotten pension. And they could not have gotten pension. But basically, the very law that the government passed now, after 2 terms, they are entitled to pension. So they couldn't have gotten it based on the law. The government would have gotten rid of the pension law for public officers. And then now the politicians now, after 2 terms, sometimes in 8 years, not even 10, and they get the pension, while workers, public officers are going home after all the sacrifices to the nation, all the contributions and all those things that they have made, to go home in poverty and empty-handed and to be struggling after 60 years. That is disgraceful, that is hurtful, that is not right before God, and it is not right before the nation. And so the pension matter, the pension case is before the courts, and we are making a plea because we observe that when that case sometimes should be called, sometimes it's just put off. And we don't know where that tactics is coming from. But we really want this matter because it is a pressing matter, it is an important matter, it is a constitutional matter, and it is too important of a matter for the case to be, adjourning at many different times and such. And we don't know if it's a tactics to slow down the process. But we are watching every union, the Public Workers Union, Technical and Allied Workers Union, the GOT, and all the other associations, even the police force and prisons. All those persons and workers, nurses, doctors, everybody have a stake to play in this case. So we are watching, we are asking the media to watch, to be observant, and we want to revitalize that matter in terms of with the pension, and as it comes closer, to give us the opportunity to speak about it, to cry out to the nation, and to put some pressure on government and even on the court, because that is a great injustice. Too many persons are crying. Now, can you imagine? Let me use one example here. There is a teacher in St. John's, one of the secondary school in St. John's. And what is happening St. Rose Modern Secondary School? Teacher Pam, one leg, she would have made 26 and 2/3 years already in the teaching. And over 30-something years, she has one leg. And she has to be forcing, struggling, in spite of her sicknesses, to be going to work. And after 26 and 2/3 years, if government did not get rid of the pension, she should have been retired and enjoying her pension at home. And when you watch that, it wants to make you cry. It wants to make the nation cry. And all those things, teachers and other workers. Look at COVID-19, the nurses and the doctors, the police officers and other ordinary men and women workers would have sacrificed, taking the risk in COVID-19, even when you couldn't see the politicians and they were inside. The teachers, the nurses, the doctors were coming directly to deal with persons in spite of COVID, in spite of the limited protective garments that they had. And to tell me that some of them cannot be regularized, some of them cannot receive their pension, their due pension, and going on with other persons with cancers and other sicknesses, they have to go now fighting that issue with no monies, with just NIS, a little NIS. You can say that NIS, what you're getting from NIS is not necessary and is not equal, is not just for pension to live after age 60, and so it's unfair. And the revolutionary, the Grenada Revolution, did not put the NIS there to substitute for our June 1958 pension. They did not institute the NIS to substitute. For example, if you look at workers in hubbards and other companies, they pay NIS, but also when they go home, they go with the pension scheme and the pension from the workplace. So why is it that the teachers and other public officers, even if you're paying NIS, and yes, you should enjoy the benefits from NIS, but that doesn't take away from the very fact that it is constitutionally due. This pension is a constitutional matter. It is made provision for in the Constitution of Grenada, and the government could not have gotten rid of pension without a referendum, for the people in Grenada to vote on it, and a 2/3 majority. And what they would have done is they restore after the restoration of constitution in Grenada, democratic rule. They restore everything else. That's to tell you how the politicians in Grenada, they don't really love the Grenadian people and the workers, because if they did, they restore everything in the democracy after the intervention in 1983. But what they get rid of is the pension. What does that show the nation? The very said people, the workers, that the government of Grenada, they come to you during election time and tell you that they love you so much and they care about you. If they love us so much and they care about the teachers and the nurses and the doctors and the police officers and all other public officers who work for them, not only work for them, but who support them. There are a lot of teachers and other public officers who support the very said NNP and other government, not only the NNP government, but supported other governments. And you telling me they're saying that they love us so much during election time and when election is close. If you love the workers so much and you love public officers and you love teachers so much, restore the pension. They can get rid of the law that neglects the pension tomorrow morning and they can restore pension. This matter doesn't even have to reach in the court. So that is the unjust and unfair and unfortunate situation there with the pension issue. And teachers and workers are crying out. There's a lot of pain. There is a lot of hurts. In spite of people going to work and people teaching, nurses going to work, doctors going to work, and everybody working. But inside of that, there's a lot of pain and a lot of hurts in Grenada, Caribou, and Petit Martinique. And that is what the nation needs to do. And also, finally, on the pension matter, we want the Grenadian society to know that what we are struggling for in pension and what we are marching for in terms of our salaries and 4%, we are not just doing it for us now. We are preparing the way for the unborn. We are preparing the way for your children and your grandchildren. Think about it. If we don't do it, one day your children would have to do it because they would have no pension too. And they would be the workers of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique later on. We would not be working forever. After a time, we have to retire. So we are marching not only for the same Imanis and the youth empowerment officers. We are marching for the children who are going to school. We are securing pension for them. These are the young people that the government of Grenada will be calling on soon when election comes around and tell them that they love them so much. But when they go in the field of work later on, they have no pension. They have no security. A lot of things have been denied to them, and a lot of things have been denied to us because what we see the government are doing is cutting back on all the benefits, not only pension, not only our dark salaries, taking it away and doing those things. You're talking about our dark salaries and all the other injustices. If we don't march and we don't protest and we don't break this thing for the younger population and for the society as a whole, what would happen for generations to come? So the nation should sit and reflect on that. And don't just say teachers doing this and workers doing this, but think about the situation. Don't put politics in it. Wait out. Because whether you think about it, all of us are one people in Grenada and we are fighting. The 4% that we are fighting for as teachers, that money, before we get it, we spend it on the nation's children. And that is a sacrifice that we are making to prepare the way, not only for workers now, but for workers to come.
Well said, Mr. Bartholomew. Let me take a break and then we're going to come back and continue the discussion. We're speaking with President General of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Mr. Jude Bartholomew. Good morning, Grenada. We'll be right back.
We are taking pride in outstanding performance. We are encouraging and recognizing innovation. We are committed to continuously doing things better, with enhanced services coming soon. Yes, we are here for you. Check us out today for your financial need. GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
It's time to line virtually one more time. Gemma Rayburn Baines here for Spice Island Cultural Festival, a celebration of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martini. This summer's festival is a celebration of life with food, fashion, music, and culture. Join us online Saturday, July 10th, 3 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube at Spice Island Cultural Festival. Info, spiceislandculturalday.com.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. 15 minutes on to 8 o'clock. We're speaking with President General of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Mr. Jude Bartholomew. Before we get back to some issues that I wanted to cover, let me see what the viewers and listeners are saying on the social media. I have some comments and questions on WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says they have to be careful how you go against the big stone. He will crush you. This is pure dictatorship, but the insiders are myopic. The Prime Minister is saying one thing but doing another. Intelligent people are not myopic. Do you agree that there's a dictatorship coming from the Prime Minister especially in terms of dealing with public officers, teachers with the 4%?
Well, the persons are observant, the nation, persons are watching. So they are the best judges in terms of the words they would express. So I will just leave it there and let persons' words speak for themselves. But basically, one can observe and one can see what is happening, and the nations, our society are the best referees in terms of judging a matter, and they will see for themselves. But one can see some level of high-handedness, some level of intimidation, and a lot of stumbling blocks and hindrances in terms of when it comes to deal with the workers. The issue is, let's measure and let's put it on a scale. Grenada has been, in terms of doing well, the government does boast of in terms of the level of development and such, 5% and 6% growth. And also we have been in some turmoil in the sense of economic fluctuation. When it comes to a disaster, when you think about it in Grenada, it's always Hurricane Ivan, COVID-19, and all other sacrifices. The workers of this country would have made sacrifices. Always government have to take into, you look at the National Reconstruction Levy, you look at all the different things. When government calls on the workers of this nation, this country, to make sacrifice to build back Grenada, going back to the IMF, the workers, they do it courageously. We do it courageously because we love our country and we want our country to go forward. And we don't want our society to be mistaken and to think and make politicians make us believe that every time that the teachers and public officers stand for something and take a protest action, that we don't like Grenada and we don't like the government. These are smart tactics that the government would use to divide the society against us. But one can see some level of heavy-handedness. This every time that we have to get an increase, whether the country is doing good economically or whether it is doing poor, we have to struggle for it. And that's where the inconsistency. Let the nation know. And let's examine this thing before we go forward. Think about it. In the OECS country, Grenada is the lowest paid in terms of teachers and other public officers, the lowest paid. And even when the ministers of government and the prime minister would come on a press conference and let the nation know that other countries have cut the salaries of workers, even if they cut the salaries of workers, teachers and public officers' salaries cannot match with the people's salary who are still cut. And that is the injustice. Why is it that we have to be fighting for 4%? Remember, that's what we want the Grenadian public to see and to examine. Teachers and other public officers, especially the women, some of them are single parents. Some of them have their mortgage. Some persons, by the time they pay their mortgage, they have nothing in their hand. Some teachers are so generous that the very monies that we have, even if some of the nation, probably a few parents or somebody might be against us, we'll never look at that. If their child come to a teacher and say, I don't have money for bus or for lunch, the teacher will still dip in their pockets and give them out of the very set 4%. We don't get a uniform allowance. We don't get all the other allowances. The only thing that public officers get, we're not a profit sharing company in the sense that after Christmas time, we never get an extra salary like other OECS countries. We never get any profit sharing that the teachers or other public officers will get. The only thing that we get, the only thing that we know is struggling and fighting for the increase that we get to put on our salaries and those things. And that is the sort of intimidation and injustice. And not only that, not just the 4%, the insulting manner. That is even worse than the money. The insulting manner that the government treats its people, its citizens, the workers of this country, the teachers who are making the sacrifice. If we did not like the nation's children, you think yesterday was an exam, minimum competency exams. Although we take in industrial action, the teachers were there. For CSEC exam and those things for CXC, the teachers are there. The teachers are working more harder than ever. Even if we come out and match, even if we have a protest action, the teachers are making night and day and preparing their children for exams. And that's what we want the parents to see. Teachers love your children. Teachers love the nation's children. Teachers are making the sacrifice. Don't allow these politicians of this country who will be there for today and they may not be there for tomorrow. The teachers will always be there with you and always rally with your children. And that is true. All right, so let the nation judge for themselves.
Let me go to the phone line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
I want anybody in this country to take the constitution of this country, this book, and show me where there's anything in it for the politicians when they make 8 or 10 years. I want anybody to tell me that. And the other thing I want them to tell me, take the same constitution book and tell me where the police cannot withdraw themselves at any time if they have a dispute. Is it saying that police can strike? I want anybody to tell me if they see anything in the constitution book where the police can strike. It tells you could withdraw the labor at any time when you have a dispute and you're dissatisfied. So when people go about and talk about the police can strike, teacher change their talk. They could strike. It's them who don't want to strike. And some of them, they're afraid to speak out. When they meet me, they tell me, man, I ain't here speaking out for us. We can't talk, speak out for us. They're afraid. Even the commissioner of police is sitting down right there. You think you don't want to get to any pension? I tell them they are the when you see all the demonstrating, put juice and water in this van and give it to all you. Okay. I tell them they're fighting for him too.
Okay.
Later.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bartholomew?
Yeah, so any further questions? I think was a reasonable comment. So the comments speak for some comments that the public will make. It speak for itself. And what we want to just drive home this morning with the Grenada Union of Teachers and all workers of this country, we are not your enemies. We are speaking for you also. We are not only talking about 4% for us. We are speaking on the behalf of all workers, all peoples who are oppressed, who are experiencing problems, even during COVID-19, and all the struggles that we are going through as a nation. Let us rally together. Let us work together. At the end of the day, we are Grenadians, we are Pidimantnicans, we are Caribbeans, we are one people. So let us rise, let us struggle together, and let us be able to speak out and to not allow politicians or whoever to intimidate us. Let us go back to the spirit that we had before. There was a spirit in Grenada so many times before. Grenadians are a conscious people. We have to awaken that consciousness in our people and don't allow politicians to kill that spirit because they give us a handout or they give us something and they make us feel, even the 4% government feel and to make the nation as if they're doing us a favor. They are not doing us a favor. We are working for them. We are working on the behalf of the nation. We are entitled to our pension. We are entitled to our 4%. We are entitled to all the benefits that we have in our collective agreement. They are not doing us a favor. Too many times in Grenada, we allow the politicians to make the nation believe that what they are doing is doing us a favor. The politicians and the government of this country, they are not more than the citizens. We are the ones who have elected them there. We are the ones who have put them there, and they have to be responsible, and we have to hold them accountable for their action. And some of the things that they are doing, we're not only saying about this government, but parties before, political parties, whoever, some of the actions are wrong. And when it is wrong, we call it and we say it is wrong. When it is right, we praise them. But what they are doing now to workers, it is wrong. And I want workers to open your eyes, whether you are teachers, whatever, who you are. These are the politicians. After they do those things now, they're coming back to us over and over again, election time, and telling you they love us so much. They love us so much. We have to be conscious, cannot tell you what to do, but open your eyes and think. And let us not fight against each other in terms of this time, wherever you are from, whatever union, whatever people, but let us rally together for a just cause for all of us in this nation.
A comment on WhatsApp. Somebody, let me publicly commend the President General for such a learned, inspiring, and heartfelt speech this morning. I feel his pain. My heart goes out to him and the workers of the nation who are so unjustly wronged. Is this the response that you're getting from members of the public in terms of, for lack of a better phrase, being on your side in this fight, in this battle?
I think what is happening is that the nation understands, because many times what you see, I think the nation is awakening. Don't watch the Grenadian people so and judge them. They may not be speaking up all the time, but they're conscious people. And I think for the very first time in a long time, the politicians usually what they do, they have the arms of the state, they have the media, they have all this sort of information. And what they do when we have negotiations and such, they run outside to the citizens and to the public and they put their side and they try to paint workers in a bad picture. But they cannot do it this time. And I think that the understanding, the education and all those things things that the Grenada Union of Teachers, the National Executive, teachers as a whole, and other public officers are doing, driving the information in a manner that which the whole public, the blind man could see what is happening in Grenada, Carriacou, and Pitimatnik, and therefore the public have a better understanding and a consciousness to a struggle, and they don't like it. The government knows that the nation are rallying behind the teachers, and it doesn't matter what they put out, but they know that the nation are rallying behind our teachers and all public officers, and it is fair and just, and we appreciate that from the public. And that's why we say, let us work together. Let us not just allow the politicians to do what they want and call the shots and think they could get away with anything and everything. Let us understand each other, because whatever we get, whatever opportunities, whatever foundation that we are laying not only for us today, but for your children tomorrow, your grandchildren tomorrow, everybody together as one people.
It's time for us to end the program, Mr. Bartholomew. I haven't gotten to the questions, but I'm sure you'll be back on one of my programs in the future. But any closing thoughts as we end?
I want to thank you very much on behalf of the Grenada Union of Teachers for allowing us this morning to speak on the matters of concern. I really want to implore the nation to continue to rally with us and to support us, because we are fighting. That fight is not only a just cause and a just fight for all of us, for social and economic justice. I want to ask the churches, wherever you are, to speak up, because you're speaking on the behalf of God for social and economic justice in this country. Rally behind us, and the strongest call, not only for the 4% that government should pay. We want government to pay our dark salary. We want government to regularize all the teachers who for 16, 18, how many years are temporary, permanently temporary. That must be fixed. Not only for teachers, but nurses, doctors, and all other workers who are temporary, permanently temporary for all these times. Social and economic justice, God demands it. And lastly, we are fighting for a just cause in the pension cause. We are happy to announce now that our attorney, Kajitan Hood, is now back on the teachers' pension case for pension and for the public officers. We look forward for true representation from him and for all the other workers. We will continue to speak out on this pension issue, because it's a very important issue. The watchword and the slogan must be for this month, for the pension case: pension, 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 pension. Right through the length and breadth of Grenada, Carriacou, and Pitimatnik. Justice for all peoples, wherever you are, through the length and breadth of Grenada, Carriacou, and Pitimatnik. Thank you so very kindly, and we look forward for the march today, whether it's rain, shine, or sun. Thank you so kindly.
What time is the march again? Remind me.
That should be 9 o'clock.
All right, good. Looking forward to it. Thank you so very much, Mr. Bartholomew. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and of course, we'll keep in touch about your next appearance on the program at soonest.
I look forward to it.
Thank you. President General of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Jude Bartholomew. The teachers will be leading a march this morning from 9 a.m. Freeing from bondage, getting out of breaking from bondage. I'm trying to remember what it is exactly. I remember the bondage part. Remind me of it again.
Whether bondage, freeing from bondage, all right? And teachers are in bondage, is the bondage.
And 9 a.m. from where? Where are you leaving off from?
From the stadium.
From the stadium
to St. George's and to Tantin.
All right, good. Thank you so much, Mr. Bartholomew. So if you'd like to join the teachers, you can do so from 9 a.m. from the stadium onto Tantin. So that means those of you who will be in St. George's around mid-morning, be mindful that you may experience some traffic delays, so keep that in mind. Now let's join the BBC for the 8 a.m. newscast. Thank you so much, Grenada. Enjoy the rest of your day.